Lots of people have been wondering when I was going to weigh in on the queen of trad wives, or Ballerina Farm. And I will be honest, I don't really know much about this woman. So I had to go and find the articles and some of the posts where they were talking about this woman. And she definitely seems like the queen of trad wives and the stuff of nightmare fuel. So let's get into this article. Meet the queen of the trad wives and her 8 children. Hannah Nealman, known to her 9 million followers as Ballerina Farm, milks cows, gives birth without pain relief, and breastfeeds at beauty pageants. Is this an empowering new model of womanhood or a hammer blow to feminism? I am a feminist. I look at this and shudder. This is not a life that I would want ever. But you guys can weigh in and answer that. I don't think that feminists are going to be like, you know what, now let me throw away all the gains of feminism so I can live like this. Okay, let's get into the article. Hannah Nealman was pregnant with her 8th child, and she had 2 due dates. The first was for a baby, obviously. The second was just under 2 weeks later for a beauty pageant. Nealman had been crowned Mrs. American in August 2023 at a Las Vegas mega casino and resort. So she was invited back to the city to compete in Mrs. World, parading around the stage in a swimsuit and 5-inch heels, shoulders back and hips popped, spray tanned, glistening, and 12 days postpartum, obviously. I had known it was coming, says Nealman, 34, sitting in her kitchen in rural Utah. 2 of her children literally swinging off of her long golden hair. So I had prepared. During the pregnancy, it took brute strength, guts, and bravery to make sure she could eventually look so perfectly pretty. She kept fit, weightlifting before her children woke up. She had ice baths, lowering herself into the irrigation ditches on the farm, and she took iron supplements to speed up the healing. On January 2nd this year, Flora was born in the upstairs bedroom without pain relief, a one-push baby, Nealman said on Instagram. In the first days, she laid low, not leaving the house. On the 5th day, she says, I looked at Daniel, her husband, and said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. This is a lot. I was bleeding and swollen, and milk was coming in. On the 7th day, she rose from bed, doing her bar exercises in the bathroom. A former ballerina, she trained at the Juilliard School in New York. By day 9, she was trying on outfits, zipping herself into a pair of leather trousers in skin-tight white and a skin-tight white ball gown. Day 10, spray tan. Day 11, a 2-hour flight with a newborn to Las Vegas. Her husband and 7 children following behind, along with other members of her family. And by day 12, she was on stage. Luckily, she says she had stopped bleeding. She made it through to the 2nd round of the competition. Her social media following exploded as @Ballerina Farm. She has 9 million followers on Instagram, 7.4 million on TikTok, and 1.5 million on YouTube, and people went berserk. Was this the ultimate act of empowerment? Nealman doing what she wanted, or the ultimate demonstration of oppression? Her tender body encased in spiky sequins. Nealman, whether she liked it or not, was declared a new and the leader of a new and controversial group of the internet, the Trad Wives. Throughout the maelstrom, she has remained, publicly at least, steadfast. She never explained, she never complained, a silence I had interpreted as defiance. But is it? I have flown across the breadth of America and driven through the mountains of rural Utah to ask her if that is, I can get her alone. The Nealmans and their children, Henry, Charles, George, Francis, Lois, Martha, Mabel, and baby Flora, ages 12 to a baby, live on a 328-acre farm just outside the small town of Camas, a pioneering existence beneath a big sky and up against the brutal elements. Welcome in, says Daniel, 35, opening the door, baby in arms. He is part of a family brand, @Hogfathering, 490 Instagram followers, an all-American steak of a husband, square-jawed and denim-clad. Hannah will be out in a minute, he continues, walking into the kitchen. It is photogenic chaos. The antique wooden counters are stacked with Le Creuset pans and mismatched pottery. There is an aga installed by the only man in the West who knows how. I count 28 pairs of shoes by the door. It's so good to meet you, Neilman says, walking in, a tiny blonde beauty queen, her hair wet and cheeks flushed, and possibly pretty. She takes the baby from her husband. She will not leave the Neilman's chest for the 4 hours we're together. Even before Pageant Gate, Neilman was one of the most popular influencers in America, famous online for depicting her family's wild, earthy existence. Her followers have included the actresses Jennifer Garner and Hilary Duff, a devout Mormon who was raised in a Mormon family. She bakes perfectly scored sourdough loaves, milks cows straight into her coffee cup, and gives birth by candlelight with no relief. Living out here, it must be hard to envision all the millions of eyes watching them. I feel like we're doing what God wants, Neilman says. We're on his errand a little bit, Daniel adds. We're on his errand a little bit, she repeats. And here she is making food for all of these kids. How does she respond to the social media storms? There was one after she said at another pageant that she feels most empowered after she has a baby. There were others when she encouraged the use of natural remedies over traditional medicine, and another when she said Daniel had drop-kicked a cockerel across the yard after it attacked one of their children. Daniel is so good about that, she says, looking to her husband. He says you can't lean into what people are saying or the titles people are putting on you. You just have to live your life and shut that out, because if not, it will overtake you. It doesn't have an impact at all. I mean, it does. I'll hear things. It's no fun. Like, she pauses, looking up at Daniel, who is now standing behind her. What do you think upsets us most? She asks him. For whatever reason, I'm kind of dumb to it, he says. Trad wives are an internet phenomenon, women who have rejected modern gender roles for the more traditional existence of wife, mother, and homemaker, and who will then promote that life online, some to millions of followers. Their lifestyle is often, though not always, bound to Christianity. They film themselves cooking mad things from scratch, chewing gum from cornstarch, waffles from a sourdough starter, their faces glowing in beams of sunlight, their voices soft and breathy, their children free range. So I said when we first started this article that this family, this lifestyle is nightmare fuel for me. I have birthed 2 children, and I'm glad that I didn't start having kids until I was 33. It gave me the opportunity to go to school, do what I wanted, learn myself, get some career experience and all of that. And people who go off and have a bunch of kids, that could totally be their thing. But 2 kids was enough for me. That was a lot of work, and I am uninterested. I'm uninterested in farm life. I'm uninterested in the Susie Q homemaker type of stuff. So this is not for me. I'm not watching this and be like, man, that is a hit to my feminism. And this woman is a trained ballerina, and she gave up her dreams of being going to Juilliard. How many people get accepted to Juilliard? She gave up her dreams to be a homemaker, and that is her decision. I don't know if this woman has any regrets about giving up her dreams and to birth all of these kids, but that is what she did. I don't believe in giving up your dreams, but that is me, and that is my brand. And all of us have the bandwidth to be able to create our own lives, and that is the beauty of feminism. It might be nightmare fuel for me. It might be the fantasy and the dream of other people, but I'm also not Mormon. So this is what they do. You are billed as being a mother and a wife. That is your role. That is what God created them to do. And if that is what their God created them to do, then do it well. It is not for me. Is it for you? There are more things that we got to talk about, because I was doing a deep dive on these people, so it is about to come. So this content creator on TikTok, Lana Del Rey's, says she was looking through Ballerina Farm's old blog posts from when they had their first baby. She says, I don't know, kind of major sad aura, bro. So let's look at what this content creator, Lana Del Rey's, found. So this is Ballerina Farm's old blog post. She wrote this caption herself. This was after Miss New York 2011. Daniel was so happy I didn't win. He brought my engagement ring with him. It's in his pocket, and wanted to propose right then and there. That is another story in and of itself. Long story short, I told him to wait till we were alone. Phew. Okay, another blog post. Today was quite the day. Thank goodness it's Friday. It felt like I was in a race against time the entire day, and I didn't win. It is 11 p.m. and dinner is finally ready. Too bad Daniel fell asleep 45 minutes ago. That's what I get for being too ambitious and trying to make pot pies for dinner. Crust and everything. Maybe he can have his for breakfast. Yeah, I've heard of them. Breakfast, brunch, pot pies. Yum. So she spent all of this time making something from scratch, doing all this hard work, and her husband fell asleep. But also, she's cooking up till 11 p.m. Imagine how tiresome that sounds. Another blog post. Daniel has been working like a dog, which means he works all the time. He leaves around 7:30 a.m. and then doesn't get home until 10 p.m. Terrible. We have a little cute house in Alphaville, Ons, and we are safe and healthy. Henry and I don't have a car because D-Man has to drive it to work, which is about an hour and a half away. So we have been really getting some good one-on-one time. He loves me and I love him. When I get depressed, usually around Wednesday, because I haven't left the house in a few days and I never see my husband, I just listen to Henry and really try to live in these little moments when it's just he and I in the house. We don't have too many days till baby brother comes to greet us. So we're really packing in the quality time. Not knowing the language makes things a bit more complicated as well. Henry and I look at each other when the mailman asks us a question, and we are just so grateful that at least we have each other to talk to. So I found out though that this is a wealthy man from a wealthy family, and they only have one car, and he has isolated her to the point where she has no other interaction with any people. Even before finding this out, her life was nightmare fuel to me, because it is lonely just sitting there with a baby all day and you can't go anywhere. And she's extra pregnant. So what if the baby starts to come, there's an emergency, and she has nobody because she's isolated? Like I said before, this life sounds miserable. I don't know how somebody is looking at this and saying, yes, I want to be that. I want to have this marriage where he is gone practically all day and I'm stuck here with the babies doing baby stuff without anyone to talk to. Now on Twitter, they're also discussing this video. This video, the Ballerina Farm posted herself. This is recent. She says, here's my birthday present from Daniel. And she's all excited, thinking that she's about to get some tickets to Greece. And she is opening it excitedly, and then come to find out it's an egg apron. An egg apron that she could have ordered off of Amazon by herself, where you stuff the eggs after you're picking them fresh or whatever. She wanted tickets to Greece. His family is old money and owns airlines, and he did not get this woman what she wanted for her birthday.
Okay, that's my birthday present from Daniel. Hoping they're tickets to Greece.
Where's it from?
I don't know, the boys took it off.
I took it off.
It's from Ukraine.
So, plane tickets? Ooh, a hat I can wear in Greece.
It's not a hat.
It's not.
Oh, my egg apron!
Eggs in it.
Great, then you can gather eggs.
So cute. It's really cute. It's a cute one.
Yeah, that's the best. You're welcome.
Thanks, honey.
Not for a long time.
Some of the comments, and before I get to this comment, look at her face. I wasn't trying to capture that screenshot. That's just how it happened. Jess says, an egg apron isn't a birthday gift when you have plenty of money. It's a, hey, I was thinking about you today and knew you wanted this on a random Tuesday kind of gift. And then Taylor says, Daniel, your family owns a whole airline. Get mom her tickets to Greece. Sid B says, for her birthday? Your tropical gal says, didn't even take it out the box or wrap it either. Natasha at the bottom says, a gift to do more work. Like, sir, please. Little Delicious says, he said, stay in the house, babe. And Nova and Buster says, this is the real message. So another content creator on TikTok posted this caption. Anyone else see the video of her looking so happy on her birthday, thinking she was going to get one thing she asked for, but instead she got an apron to continue her chores. She was then prompted to say thank you by him, preemptively saying, you're welcome. His family owns an airline and they have the same means to do as they please, but he chooses to get her an apron. This is, like I said, this is nightmare fuel. It's like you got all of this access and money, but he still wants to keep her in a mule position. The massage specialist had reshared that video saying, I wish she had won Mrs. World America. He would have passed out over how much independence and freedom she would get, but she doesn't even seem to want freedom. She has the money. If she has all of these followers, she is making the money. So this is what she is choosing to do at this particular point. She is choosing to have all of these kids. So this is another article that came out. This one was from Forbes. Ballerina Farm, content creator at the center of furor over trad wife phenomenon. I don't know if people are furious over this. It's just like you look at this and it's just like, no, I'm not interested. But you guys can let me know what you think. We're going to look at some of this. I'm not going to look at all of this. All right, so it says, an unofficial leader of TikTok's trad wife trend, which glorifies return to the traditional roles of mother, homemaker, and homesteader, has been thrust into the spotlight after popular content creator Hannah Nealman is portrayed in a Times article as a victim of misogynistic circumstance and not the business-savvy content creator fans assumed they knew. And I believe that she is a savvy content creator, but I just think that and I don't think that she's a victim. I think that this is what she's choosing to do. But I also think that these people are programmed through religion to believe that this is their position. And like she said in the other article, that this is what God wants her to do. So I don't think that she is a victim per se, but she is programmed. That's what I think. So I'm not going to do this whole article because a lot of it is a repeat of the other article, but I wanted to hone in on this part. The interviewer didn't get a chance to speak to her without her husband or kids interrupting her. She says, but in private moments, she reportedly said her lifelong dream was to be a New York City dancer, but instead she married just months after dating, even though she wanted to wait, and was pregnant months after that, claiming to be the first Juilliard undergraduate to get pregnant in modern history. Nealman, who has given birth to a majority of her children at home with no pain management, also spoke of one of her children's hospital births, which occurred without her husband present. So I just want to talk about the fact that this man saddled her with babies, and now because she is a content creator, she is making this okay. Like now she's just living this dream. And it's just like this dream of just making and popping out all these babies. Okay, let's continue. It says, for that she received an epidural. So when her husband wasn't present, she got an epidural, which she called kinda great. The article also revealed the Nealmans have no childcare help because Daniel Nealman didn't want nannies in the house. Despite the fact that this is a wealthy family, this woman gets no help with all these kids. He also said his wife sometimes gets so ill from exhaustion that she can't get out of the bed for a week. Since the piece was published, the comments on the Ballerina Farm TikTok account have expressed sympathy for Nealman and suggested she's being forced to promote a traditional lifestyle despite it not lining up with her personal desires. So, you know, you can give sympathy, but at what point does this woman have to stand up if that's not what she wants to do and walk away? Tangent. David Nealman Daniel's father founded JetBlue, WestJet, Azul Brazilian Airlines, Open Skies, Morris Air, and Breeze Airways. He was formerly a private shareholder in Portugal's flag carrier TAP and has a personal fortune in the hundreds of millions. He and his ex-wife have 10 children, including Daniel, and he is a member of the Mormon Church. This tangent helps you understand why Daniel is the way that he is. He literally believes that he is a demagogue and puts this woman, his wife, in the position of being a mule in an incubator, because obviously he has the money to provide help and relief for this woman. He just chooses not to. And now this woman is making money on her own. She is actively participating in her own subjugation, if she feels that way, unless getting ill from exhaustion is what she is choosing to do. All right, y'all. So y'all weigh in. What do you think about Ballerina Farm and this traditional lifestyle and this Mormonism stuff? Don't forget to like, comment, and share.